Don't you hate laws? Don't you hate being forced to do stuff? Well, Apple sure does. And sometimes laws force us to do the right thing, and then people get mad about it. Let's see what happened today.
Apple's being forced to redesign the iPhone.
Wow. The world's biggest problem on the planet. So big that 6.6 million people are being deceived by this guy to believe that this is a bad thing. We'll see what he says.
So 10 years ago, Apple released a groundbreaking piece of tech. It was a tiny charging connector that worked upside down and could connect to earphones.
Okay, Apple fanboy, do you realize that when it was released, it was not built to connect earphones? They actually had headphone jacks, like civilized people at the day. And that wasn't the point of that. The whole point was that it could go one way and the other way, and it was like a third of the size of the 40 pin connector, which is better than the 40 pin connector, which is why they had it in. You'll see now why I say the better standard should be the standard.
10 years later, that
Also, I'm very mad about the headphone jack being removed. That's me, and I probably will have a rant about that on a hill somewhere where I just record my rant about the headphone jacks being removed from phones.
same connector is still used in the 240 million iPhones Apple sells each year.
Yeah, wouldn't it be amazing if we could stop 10-year-old technology from being used, especially when it's still using USB 2, USB 2. Do you realize how slow that is? Everything else is on USB 3 at least by this point.
50 million of those iPhones Apple sells in the EU. But the EU surprised Apple with a new law that's even pissed off Android users.
No one's mad. No one is mad by this, especially not Android users. Why on earth would Android users be mad when Apple changes something to do exactly what Android has been doing for years now?
The EU is forcing future smartphones to have a USB port.
Yeah, well, not a USB port, a USB Type C specifically. Um, but yes, that is what's technically happening here, and that's a good thing. Everyone uses the same cable. No one has to buy two cables when buying a MacBook and an iPhone because MacBooks use USB Type C. It's good enough for MacBook, but it's not good enough for iPhones. iPhones have to use 10-year-old technology.
This might seem convenient, one charger for all devices,
Well, it is convenient. That's why it seems convenient.
but it comes at a huge cost.
A huge cost of nothing.
Here are the top 3 reasons why everyone is so upset.
No one's upset.
3. USB-C might not be the best solution.
Yes, it might not be the best solution, but it sure is a good one, and it sure is better than Lightning running on USB Type. Yeah, USB 2 still for 10 years.
For example, headphone jacks were standard a few years ago, but
Yes, and they were amazing. They were friggin' amazing. I wish they still were standard, and I wish EU forced everyone to have headphone jacks in their phones. But because they didn't, this happened, and now almost every modern phone releases with a headphone jack, except for the Asus Zenfone 6, I believe, which has a headphone jack. Thank you so much. And some of the ROG phones have headphone jacks. Thank you so much.
they weren't
Both been made by Asus. Asus, you're a legend.
required by law, so
Exactly, so Apple removed them.
Apple was able to
No, so that they removed them and made everyone's lives difficult so that they can make more money by people buying AirPods.
remove them. 2. Lightning accessories have become redundant.
They will not have become redundant because, like Apple has said, a dongle is just as good as having a headphone jack in your phone, right? I've got a dongle in my hand right now. It's the most annoying thing I own because I have to buy this dongle to listen to music with my phone with better headphones than wireless headphones because wireless headphones are trash. And I'm going to speak about that at some point. I'm going to rant about the headphone thing, but they're not becoming redundant because you can just make a dongle for that. And that dongle will actually be way easier to make than a lightning to 3.5 millimeter jack, which is what they sell you for $10 at the Apple store. It hopefully should be really cheap because it's easier to make than this $10 one.
Apple thinks this will create more waste than it saves.
It won't because you can get a dongle. And if you don't want to get a dongle, you can buy Apple's new one, or whatever they're going to do. That they would have done it if they were the people to think about it. But because they aren't the people to think about it, they're not going to do it. And they have copyright things around their headphone or like their lightning jack. If you want an Apple certified lightning jack, they get royalties off of that. Um, and that sucks. That means that everything with the lightning adapter that comes with the Apple for iPhones sticker on it gets a portion of that money goes to Apple, and they're making a lot of money from that. That's why they're mad. No one is mad except for Apple and this guy, and maybe the 6.6 million people that were deceived to be mad at this.
1. This kills innovation. For
Ooh. So the 10 years of no port is innovation that it's killing, right? We're going to. This is an uphill battle if I ever seen one.
example, this could prevent Apple from selling a phone that's ultra thin and totally wireless.
No, it does not prevent that by any stretch of the imagination. It does not at all. It says that there has to be, if there's a port, it has to be USB Type C, or at least one of the ports on it, the charging port specifically. If there's no port and they want to make it super thin and they want to make it only wirelessly charged, like this exact feature that he's speaking about, they can do that. No problem. Literally, they would have no issues pulling that off because that's not against the law. What is against the law is releasing your phone with a charging port and that one single charging port doesn't have USB Type C.
Apple's being forced
They're not being forced to do anything wrong. Laws are there for a reason, and I wish they did this sooner. Imagine running 10-year-old computer stuff and being mad that you have to update it. You know, this is why, what is that massive thing that happened before I was even born? Y2K. Y2K happened because people were holding on to ages old computers for no reason other than they still technically work, I guess, except they couldn't count past 2000. That's a problem because the date became or was going to become 2000. Yeah, that's dangerous. When you're running old technology and you're mad because you're having to upgrade that technology, that's not a good thing. Also, USB Type C isn't as bad as he speaks about here. Basically, everything brand new runs USB Type C, except for if you need a lot, and I mean like we're speaking over 120 watts of power, which Apple hasn't supported ever. They haven't even supported anywhere close. I don't believe they even have 60 watts. They don't have 60 watts on their phone. I think they ran up to maybe 20 or 30, maybe 40. You don't charge your phone past that. And even their laptops seems to be fine with having USB Type C. But USB Type C can go. I've seen up to 120 watts. I've seen them use over Thunderbolt using the USB Type C port 20 gigabytes per second, which is insane compared to USB Type 2 speeds, or not Type 2, but USB 2.0. Um, yeah, there's lots of reasons to have USB Type C. It's just they don't want it, and they don't want to have an open port. Their port, they want to have royalties over their port. That means everyone who wants a certified thing that can go into their port has to pay them every single time. What's going to happen now is Apple is either going to come out with a totally wireless phone, like they were speaking about, or they're going to have a Type C port. And people are going to be able to make their own add-ons for the iPhone. And Apple's going to be mad about that because they don't earn money from that. They don't earn the money from the stuff that the other people are making, which blows my mind that this is actually stifling innovation. When you stay on the same port for 10 years, this is stifling innovation. When you stay on the port for 10 years because you want people to keep buying your stuff and the stuff made by other people that their money goes to you. I I am so mad about this because this is an amazing thing. And if we check the comments here, as you can tell, I've disliked this video. It's not a good video. If you consider subscribing, this is going to be the number one channel for big tech content. I really hope it isn't. I honestly hope it isn't. If you plan on still sending out this jargon and disinformation. I gave a little bit of thought. I was going to read a little comments. It wasn't interesting. Uh, Everyone agreed with me. There was no one who thought for a second that this person was telling the truth. I'm happy about that, but I'm sad that there are possibly people who were deceived by this video. So, if there was a way for me to get into contact with this guy, if you guys can find his Discord or anything like that, that'd be amazing. Let's please not send hates his way. That's not cool. I would like to speak to him. Maybe he has a legitimate reason why he believes these things, and it didn't come across on his 60-second shorts. I don't believe that there's a real reason for any of this, and I hope that it's not what I think it is, where it's just an easy video. He just takes claims that Apple have been making and just sends them out. I hope it's not that, but if it is, I do really want to know. Um, cool guys, thanks so much for watching all the way to the end. Give it a like, give it a subscribe. See if you can find anything on this guy. I mean, I haven't found anything, and he hasn't made an apology video or taken this video down, which I would hope he does both of them when he finds out he's wrong. I hope he sees this video. He probably won't. I'm not that big yet, but we'll get there. Don't worry, guys. See you guys. Enjoy your day.